UConn's basketball 2024-25 season predictions. The 40th season of Geno Auriemma and Dailey's tenure and the final year of Paige Bueckers' collegiate career begins on Thursday when UConn women's basketball welcomes Boston University to the Xcel Center. It's been a difficult half-decade for the Huskies, from the struggles of the 2019-20 campaign to the COVID season followed by 3 straight years of injuries. Despite that, UConn is coming off a trip to the Final Four and has a roster with no shortage of talent across the board. While that comes with plenty of uncertainty, there's plenty of reason to be optimistic too. On the eve of a new season, our women's basketball staff, myself, Megan Gower, Ian Bethune, and Dan Madigan, try to predict how it'll all unfold for the Huskies. Daniel Connolly. Prior to Sunday's exhibition, I would have said no. But it's hard to deny the way she performed against K-State with 27 points on 12-14 shooting. If Bueckers plays like that every single night, she's going to have a historic season. And UConn will be feeling pretty good about its chances come April. Ian Bethune. Bueckers wants to win in her final season, so I expect she'll be a little more dominant this year. If she can stay healthy, knock on wood, she should easily be able to put up 20 points a game. With the depth UConn has shooting-wise when they're healthy, she may not need to score as much, or that frees her up to shoot even more. Either way, I can see Bueckers demanding the ball more. Don't forget, she played all over the floor last year, including time at power forward. She's averaging 19.7 points per game in her career and could easily hit the 20-point mark again, 20.0 in her freshman season and 21.9 last year. Dan Madigan. Personally, I would like to see it. With Caitlin Clark now gone, Bueckers is biggest brand in the sport and one of the top players in the country. I would love to see her call her own number a little bit more and assert her dominance once again. Even though she is talented, as a distributor, UConn is better off when takes the majority of the shots and serves as the focal point of the offense. Megan Gower. Like Daniel, I was a bit skeptical prior to Sunday's exhibition. However, Bueckers flipping the switch so quickly in a low-stakes game makes me think she will actually be more assertive this season. As we saw on Sunday, this team is also going to have some growing pains while it figures things out, and it will need Bueckers to fill in the gaps. Connolly. Caitlin Chen is a safe bet. She's an established player after 3 stellar seasons at Princeton and should be a reliable sidekick to Bueckers. However, UConn will be better off if the answer ends up being Azzy Food. Ian Bethune. There's a lot of right answers here, but I think that if Auriemma can establish Jonna Alfie down low, and she can stay out of foul trouble, she could easily put up 15 points and 10 rebounds a night. There are maybe 1 or 2 teams in the Big East who could slow her down. It'll be the big games on the schedule that determine if she can be a top scorer. Madigan. I think it has to be Food. If, and that's a huge if, she can get healthy and stay healthy, Food and Bueckers will finally get some extended time on court together and terrorize opponents as arguably the best backcourt in the country. Goa. Everyone wants the answer here to be Food, but she's already coming back from a major injury and has had trouble staying healthy. I think the more likely answer is Chen. As we already saw some on Sunday, Chen's experience at Princeton is going to lend itself well to her being a consistent second option next to Bueckers. Connolly. Watch out for Aubrey Griffin in March. Although she's pretty established as the only 6-year player in program history, Griffin was playing the best basketball of her career before going down with a torn ankle last January. If she can regain that form when she returns sometime around the new year, she could be the type of piece that pushes UConn over the top. Ian Bethune. If we are counting the injured players, then it would be Food for sure. We all know what she can do, but she hasn't done it for a full season. And while she'll return after the new year kicks off, I would still expect her to put up some good numbers. Madigan. I was so impressed with Keg Arnold's poise and energy as a freshman last season. I loved her ability to get into passing lanes on the defensive end and how comfortable she looked on offense. Even with a more crowded backcourt this year, I think she will make a leap. Goa. I'm going to go with Ayanna Patterson here. There's a lot of opportunity in a young front court for someone to break through. I don't think Patterson is going to come out and start putting up 20 points a game for the Huskies. But I think her ability to come in off the bench and instantly impact the game on the glass and on the defensive end is going to be invaluable for the Huskies. Connolly, Sarah Strong, and it's not close. Auriemma said she's probably as impressive as any freshman that we've had in a long time, and later added that he expects her to significantly change the trajectory of our program. The other newcomers will be good, but it's hard to compete with that. Ian Bethune. While this could be any of the freshman class or even Chen, my money is on El Alfie. Everything we've heard about her, from Auriemma to Bueckers, I expect her to be a mean presence down in the paint. If she establishes herself on the defensive end, the sky's the limit with how UConn can guard opponents up top. Madigan. I'm with Ian on El Alfie. Prior to her injury, the clips from her time with the Egyptian national team were insane. Her size will add a new dimension to this team on both ends, and I'm excited to see what she can do. She seems like a prototypical modern post player. Gower. My gut here also says El Alfie, since she offers a size and physicality UConn hasn't had in a while. That said, she's coming off a major injury and has never played a college basketball game. For that reason, I think Chen might be the most immediate answer here. She brings the experience as a fifth-year player that UConn can't manufacture anywhere else. The maturity that comes with that could be huge for the Huskies in big moments, as early as the road trip to North Carolina, or certainly in their tough stretch in December. Connolly. Bueckers is a fixture in the starting lineup, and Chen probably isn't far behind. From there, Fudd, Strong, and Ice Brady is my guess for what the Huskies deploy most often once everyone is healthy. I think Brady gets the nod over El Alfie given her edge and experience. Ian Bethune. I think once Fudd returns and gets a game or two under her belt, she'll establish herself in the starting lineup. My best guess would be Bueckers, Chen, Fudd, Strong, and El Alfie. Before Fudd returns, I'd say Bueckers, Chen, Arnold, Strong, and El Alfie. Madigan. No disagreements here. I could see Brady getting some starts early until Strong gets her feet under her. Being a freshman under Auriemma is hard, and sometimes it takes time, even for someone of Strong's caliber. Goa. I agree with both Ian and Madigan here. I think it's Bueckers, Chen, Fudd, Strong, and El Alfie. I think particularly in the front court, we'll see some rotation between El Alfie and Brady in the fifth spot. But once El Alfie gets her feet under her, I expect her to be the preferred starter. Connolly, Lusk. That game might bring the roof down in Hartford, again. Ian Bethune. I think there's only one correct answer here. The US game at Axel Center on December 21st. It should be a matchup of top 5 teams, and obviously two of the best women's college basketball players in the country in Bueckers and Juju Watkins. Madigan. I'll go with the road game at Notre Dame on December 12. Aside from Bueckers versus Watkins, watching Bueckers go head-to-head against Hannah Hidalgo could be one of the best one-on-one matchups of the year, especially after Hidalgo torched the Huskies for 34 last year at Gampel. Must-watch TV. Goa. I am personally most excited for the US game, but do think the South Carolina game will be the most important one we see this team play. The The February timeline should offer the chance to see a full healthy UConn squad, including Griffin, knock on wood, against a top-tier opponent. It's going to be the Huskies' best national measuring stick and a very welcome change from the monotony of Big East play. Connolly, I think they do simply because the basketball gods owe them. Injuries have cost UConn at least one, if not multiple national championships over the last 3 years. Bueckers hasn't had a fair shot to win one since her freshman year. Given all the Huskies have been through, there has to be a light at the end of the tunnel. There has to be. Ian Bethune. If they don't, does that mean Bueckers would use her last year of eligibility and come back for another shot? Women's college basketball isn't like the olden days when UConn used to dominate. There's more parity in the game due to the increased talent coming out of the high school ranks as well as overseas. That being said, if they can stay healthy, they have a real shot at winning the title, and with a healthy Bueckers.